Hello everybody, this is Ben from Crested Wolf Studios, my new name for my channel. It used to be affiliated to Wolf, and now I changed it to Crested Wolf Studios because that's a little easier to say. And since I do artsy stuff, figured it would make more sense to call it a studio, like an art studio, you know? So here's what I'm going to do today. This is going to be a short video. I'm going to show you guys how to sew magnets inside of fabric, so that way it can be a magnetic plushie like this little guy here. I already made a head here. Well, it's not a head, it's just a, well, not yet. I'm not gonna do any detail on it. I'm just gonna show you guys how I sew the magnets in. So here's what I do. You take your fabrics, like this is a blue fabric, as you can probably tell. You take after you make the head and everything and stuff it up, you take a square of the same fabric you used to make the head. So I'll do a size comparison of the magnet and the square fabric that I'm working with. Like here's the square, and here's the magnet. It's like the size of a nickel, like a 5-cent coin in America. So let me show you what I do first. And one quick tip, if you're gonna make a plushie magnetic, you need to have the magnet facing the same direction every time, so that way everything is compatible with each other. You can stick it in various areas, like flop without any issues. So what I do here, if I'm doing a plushie that I'm doing, like if I'm making a plushie that's magnetic and I want all the pieces to be compatible with different slots, like where the arms go, where the legs go, and where the head goes, I use one of my pre-existing plushies as a template. But if you don't have a pre-existing one, you can just use a magnet, sew that in, and use that one, like the magnet sewed in here, you use that for the body. Like with the body, you have the same magnet direction for every slot where you put everything. So you do that, and if you want to get the limbs on right and not have them be like pushing against each other, you hold the magnet that you're going to attach into the head on the body, and you pick it up, you hold it like this, and you do that. You make sure that it's facing this part of the fabric, but I'm not ready for that yet. I'll show you, I'll do that again after I get this ready. So what you want to do with your thread and needle, I learned this stitch, like I did a finishing knot on this. I learned it at the Arizona Theater. I'll show you guys how to do that in another video. Well, maybe I'll do it now, why not? This is gonna be a short one anyway, so I might as well try and get as much footage. So let me cut that knot out, and I'll show you how to make another one. Okay, so you have the two ends here. What I typically do is, the camera's not focusing, hang on. Well, I'm sure you'll see it. Let me just get it, hang on, what's this happening? I'll try and edit this as much as I can. So we got this, I'll have it against the wall. So what you want to do, place the needle and the fabric, well, the needle and the thread behind you hold it like this, like with your middle finger and your thumb, and you make sure you have room here for when you put the needle and the thread together, and you pinch it with your pointer finger. Then you wrap around. I do it 3 times and pull it down. Then I let go of what I was holding on to the thread. Then I pull the needle while keeping my pointer finger and my thumb pinched on both of them. So that way when I pull, hang on, it happened. Sometimes it doesn't do it right. And sometimes you have to fidget with it a bit. Let me try it again. Alright, take 2. So, this is what happened the first time I tried. It's always challenging to get it right the first time, but you get used to it over time. It takes practice. So point your finger and thumb not that. You have your middle finger and thumb holding onto the needle, and you make sure the thread's out of the way, and you make sure that it's not getting out of balance or anything. So you do that. Well, I have the wrong fingers. So you do that. Take the thread, put it there, and you pinch it with your pointer finger, and you wrap it 3 times, and you pull it down so it slides between these 2 fingers, and then you pull, and you saw it go all the way through, and you got a knot. It does take a bit of fidgeting to get it right. Like sometimes it'll have like little loops sticking out, but once you get it just right, it'll be good to go until you decide to snip it off or something. Like this will not go anywhere until you decide to snip it, or unless you put too much strain on. So here's what you got to do. To start off with this, you make a little, like, you know those bags where you pull the string? You pull the string and it basically it's like a scrunchy bag. What you want to do, take this. I go behind the fabric, like this is the face, where you want it facing out. You poke the needle behind this corner, then you go that. Well, let me see if I can get it closer. Go through the back of the corner there, go through the middle of the face, then go back out the corner again. I know that this may be kind of a bad view. I'll try and work on it over time. So through the face now, then it's sticking out of there, then out the back, and it goes through the face. Like the end result is, well, I'll show you what I do. Basically, I do that. I just go in and out of the rim of the square. So that way, when I get it done, it will do this. It'll basically be like a scrunchie. Like a scrunchie sack. Like one of those sacks where you pull the strings and it, I don't know if I have one with me, but you'll have the idea. It's like an old school coin pouch. So what you want to do, you get this scrunched up like that, like half this, like a sack, like an open sack. You take the magnet, make sure it's in the right position, like this side here, the one that sticks onto the magnet inside the body, you want that to be where it goes down facing the inside of the little sack you made, like the little bag. So you stick it in, and it'll be that side that sticks onto the body will be facing where the bottom of the bag is that you just made. So you scrunch it up, you pull this, you might want to have a strong thread. Like, let me see what kind of thread this is. I use 182 millimeters. Or no, what is that? No, that's not right. That's the length of how much I got. I use, hang on, 100% poly-pol, like polyester. And you'll see it's a little faded, but why is it backwards? CA00011. Like, I'll try and take a picture of that and you'll be able to see it. So anyway, you do this, and what I do, I take it and seal the bag up a little bit. Like I go down the middle, like I go down the middle, and I go in different directions so that way I can seal this up. And let me just show you. That's how you want to do it. You want to have the scrunchy side facing out from the body. You don't want it facing in, otherwise it won't like connect right. So you want to make sure to scrunch this up nice and tight so the magnet doesn't flip or shift inside the fabric. Otherwise it'll end up sliding upside down or backwards, and it'll push the head against the part of the body you want to stick it on. So that's essential. You got to make sure that you get it tight like that so it doesn't like slide around. Next, you take the scrunchy side, this is the head, and that's the hole where you sew it in. You stick it in there, you see. And what you want to do, take the thread that's sticking out of the scrunchie and the needle, and you sew around the rim of the face, like of the side that's supposed to be the outer bottom of the bag that you made earlier. So let me just get this first few stitching started so you can see it. Alright, so you should be able to see it there. You stitch it along the rim there, and you kind of keep stitching. You go all the way around with it at first, then you stitch the folds and the kinks that are in the fabric, so that way it looks nice and pretty. Let's finish up this stitch. What I do, I stitch in one area specifically over and over, so that way it bundles up. It's like building the foundation of your ending knot. You want to collect the thread there, like in that one spot, so when you do your finishing knot, there's a lot of stitching behind it and it'll hold it together very nicely. So you do that. After it, you do that through the one area where you have all the other stitching. Then you do that. It's basically doing the finishing knot, or the beginning knot I showed you, where you do it and you take thread and you wrap around and then you pull it out. I already did it, but you get the idea. You could do the finishing and ending stitches your own way, I guess. It's all up to you. Or if you want to do a cheat, you can just stick the needle through where you've done the bulk, like where you stacked all the stitching. That'll come out one area. Like if you want to, after you collect all the stitching in one area, you can stick the needle through and have it go inside, like I did. Poking out of the ear right now. So you basically pull it, hold the thread there, and snip. And that little bit of thread that's going through the head will be it'll basically stay there. So after that, slap it on, and bam! All you have to do is do the details, and you got a functional magnetic head. It is his original head, but you got the idea. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope you're having a good day, and I'll see you later. Peace.